And family, welcome to you all. Now, Paul McCartney, to be formal, and Wings have been rehearsing somewhere in Kent, and hopefully they'll be making another album later this year. Arnie Wilson went along, lucky man, to meet them and to listen.
It was really just a good old-fashioned musical rave-up. None of the constraints of a recording studio, as Wings simply took off in an ancient concert hall at Finston Manor just outside Tenterden. When Paul paused for a breather, I asked him about his official title as the most successful composer of all time.
Well, I don't know, that's what someone in the Guinness Book of Records said, you know. I mean, I don't know whether to believe him or not, but, I mean, I think they're kind of kidding a bit when they start comparing it with, like, Beethoven and saying you sold more records than him because they didn't have records or charts in his day. So that's a bit silly. But I think of modern people, I think they've counted it up, and something like I've been on more sort of hit-selling records as a composer than anyone else alive.
Supposing you'd been alive at the time of Beethoven, would you have felt a bit restricted, do you think?
I don't know. I suppose I might, if I was still songwriting and stuff, if I wasn't pushing a cart through the mud and stuff, I might have written something like he writes, because they all did. He was one of the good ones, of course. Roll Over Beethoven. That was another good one he wrote.
So we're into the 80s now. Where do you think music is going to go, and where's Paul McCartney going to go?
To bed, I should think. I don't know, actually. I've never known, you know. I mean, they used to ask me that in the 50s, 60s, and say, I was around then, you know. And they used to say, where's it going in the 70s? You know, and I said, don't know. Where's it going in the 80s? Still the same answer, you know. I haven't got a clue, really.
Now, a lot of records around today seem to be remakes of ones that were around 10 years ago, which themselves were remakes of ones that were around 10 years earlier.
Do you mean like Kevin Keegan's record? It was featured on this very programme. I saw him in the armchair. No, sorry.
Does it indicate there's a lack of talent around, there aren't enough Paul McCartneys around to write new songs?
Oh, I don't think so, you know. I think there's like a lot of great writers around. There's a lot of people I really think are good. Some of them are American. But I still think there's a lot of good songs around. I mean, you can think of, I think Bright Eyes is a kind of good song. I think that one, Till the Fear in Me Subsides, whatever that one's called, I think that's a great song. I think Billy Joel's The Way You Are. I don't know the titles of these, but I think those are great songs. You know?
Which song do you wish you'd written?
All of them.
Does it bother you that perhaps one day there'll be a whole generation who've never heard of the Beatles, but they know
They're
about...
here already. That generation's here already, you know. A lot of people I meet who kind of, they only know me as Muller Kintyre. It's the only reason they know me. You know, little kids say, hey, Muller Kintyre. I said, yes, that's me. It doesn't bother me at all, actually, you know, that kind of thing.
You seem to be the same old Paul McCartney. We're all getting older. Does it bother you that you might actually be risking turning respectable?
I am pretty respectable, almost. No, I don't worry about all that stuff, getting old and being respectable and all that, you know, because there's some good in any of that stuff. I mean, we've all got to get old. I mean, even the kids who've just been born today will be old in 50 years' time or whatever it is takes to get old. So, I mean, you know, there's nobody gets out of that one.
Except people like Buddy Holly and perhaps Elvis Presley. Hopefully nothing like that will happen to you, but...
Yeah, but that's as old as you can get, isn't it? I mean, you know... So, well, sorry, what do you mean by that?
I meant that they were stopped in their prime by death, right? And obviously, for that reason, they will always be remembered. I mean, Buddy Holly will always be remembered as Buddy Holly, 20 years old, whatever he was. And James Dean as an actor, the same sort of thing. In a sense, they're immortalized.
Oh, yeah, I know, but I mean, you know, I'd rather stick around and get old than, like, be terrific and famous and die young. Myself, you know, some people like going out in a blaze of glory. I'm not one of them.
Can I just ask you, how did Waterfall come to be written?
If you tell me how Kevin Keegan came to be on the show.
I don't know the answer, honestly.
Oh, okay. Waterfall got written in Scotland, and I was just plonking around as usual, and I found what I thought was a nice tune. And then I put the words to it that are on there already, but I thought they were just too silly about polar bears and waterfalls, and stuff. So I was waiting around to find some better words, but then I played it to a few people and they said they're fine, those words.
So you wrap up here today, and what comes next?
Next I'm going to do a bit of recording with Ringo. He's asked me to produce a couple of tracks for him, and so I've written him a song, and we're going to France. I'm going to have a few days recording there. That should be fun.
Now, of course, you've led me there right into asking the forbidden
I was trying
question.
to lead you to that
Oh,
question,
were you?
actually. Yeah, so we get it out of the way.
How can it be that you want me to ask you the question that you dread?
That I dread most. I don't know. Kevin Keegan question, you mean?
All right, let me ask the question. Since you and Ringo are going to record together, is it going to be so much of an extra effort to bring in the other couple of guys as well? You know what I'm talking about.
No. See, the thing is, like, for a long time now, you know, the Beatles have been split up. And just the way things are, like, certain ones of us like playing together and stuff, but, for instance, I don't think John would ever be interested in kind of getting the group back together again. And the four of us individually wouldn't really be interested in doing it, just because you can't reheat a souffle, as someone once said. Three of us got up at Eric Clapton's wedding with Eric and Ginger Baker and a bunch of loonies. But, you know, we've never played the four of us together since we split up, you know. Now, he nearly didn't ask this question. He said, I won't ask that one. No, I don't think like this. I definitely know it's not on, you know, and it gets a bit boring every kind of few weeks kind of telling someone, you know, this, but I understand you asking that, but it's not anything that would ever happen.
Well, let me ask you another unfair question. Would you like Wings, in the course of time, to be more famous than the Beatles?
No, not particularly. I think the Beatles is as famous as I ever want to get. There's a lot of hectic life comes with that kind of thing, you know, it's great being that famous. And when you're four kids coming down from suburbia, anywhere, you know, and you're hitting the big city and that, and how it was in the 60s. It was great, it was really exciting, it was great to do, but I wouldn't want to do it again. No way. No, thank you. And with that, we say goodnight to the Kevin Keegan Show.
I haven't said finish yet.
Oh, sorry.
It isn't up to you, you know.